Hello class, my name is Garba, your facilitator, that is the facilitator of group B2 for the students of electrical engineering, telecommunication and communication engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering and mechatronics engineering. This is our second module. In our first module, I explained to you that we have 7 different modules in this use of English, and in this second module we are going to look at basic grammar. This module is divided into 2. We are going to have lecture 1 and lecture 2. The first lecture focuses on basic grammar, and the second lecture focuses on English tenses. This is our module 2, lecture 1, that is basic grammar, which focuses on how students understand the basic rules and convention of using words in isolation and in structures, and how students are expected to use punctuation marks for effective spoken and written communication in English. That is, this module wants to explain the basic rules and conventions of English language, and then the use of punctuation marks for effective spoken and written communication. In this module, we are going to discuss 4 items: word classes, sentence types, tenses in English, and punctuation marks. Word classes. Words are bricks of erecting structure in any meaningful human communication. In other words, words are the building bricks for meaningful human communication. For you to communicate effectively, you have to combine different words to form sentences. Words in English are classified according to the functions they perform in sentences. In English language, words are classified based on their functions. Some words are naming words, that is noun. Some express action, that is verbs, while others modify the actions, that is adverbs, while some modify nouns, that is adjectives, and some connect other words, while others indicate relationship between other words. From this explanation, we can see that words in English language have their functions, that each word has a particular function in a given sentence. Traditionally, there are 8 parts of speech in English language, that is noun, adjective, verbs, adverbs, pronoun, preposition, conjunctions, and interjections. And these 8 parts of speech are divided into 2 classes, that is open and closed classes. Open classes items are nouns, adjective, verbs, and adverbs. They are called open class items because they invite new words, while the closed class items are pronouns, preposition, conjunctions, interjection, and interjection. These are closed class items because they are closed. They don't invite new words, They don't give new room for new words, while those in the open class are always open. That is why daily we are coming across new names, actions, adverbs, and adjectives. As I said earlier, open class words are nouns, adjective, verbs, and adverbs. The nouns are naming things, ideas, persons, concepts, and so on. And nouns are divided or are classified into proper nouns, common nouns, abstract noun, concrete nouns, and collective nouns. That is, proper nouns are the specific or particular name of a person, place, animal, or things. When we say a particular name, it is a name specifically given to that particular person, place, animal, things, and so on. And they begin with capital letters, such as the name of a person like Musa. It is a name given to a particular person, and it begins with a capital letter. And also when we say Lagos, it is a name of a place, and it also starts with a capital letter. Name of days like Monday, Tuesday, names of month like November, December are all proper nouns and begin with capital letters. The next one is common nouns. Common nouns are nouns that are given generally. That is, they refer to the general names given to persons, animals, place, things, and so on. Unlike proper nouns, these are commonly shared by persons or objects that have something in common. That is, anything that's or category that has certain features in common, they are given this name, that is common nouns. For example, when I say a woman, it could be any woman, also a chair. For the common noun for is a woman, that is for a person. When I say a woman, it could mean any woman. But when I say Aisha, then it is a proper noun because it is a particular name or specific name given to a woman. Also, when I say hospital, a hospital is a common name because it is a general name. But when I say Murtala Muhammad Hospital, it is a proper name given to that particular hospital. And when we are writing the name, we have to start with a capital letter. The next item is abstract noun. Abstract noun refers to the names of qualities, emotions, actions, and conditions. That is, anything that we cannot see, touch, are abstract noun. They are things that we feel, like happiness, sadness, love, anger. All these are names given to things that we cannot see or touch, but we feel them. That is why they are called abstract. Abstract nouns are directly opposite to concrete nouns, because concrete nouns refers to the names of things that we can see and touch. For example, desk, chair, pencil, boy, TV, and so on. All these objects, we can touch them and we can see them with our eyes. That are what are called concrete nouns. There is also a collective noun. Collective nouns which are used for a group or collection. They are names given to a group or collection of things, people, objects, animals, and so on. A collective noun is regarded as a whole. For example, staff, family, team, audience, committee. You can see all these comprise of a kind of collection of people. That is why they are called collective nouns. The open class, also we have adjective, is one of the items in the open class. These are words which describe or modify or tells more about a noun or pronoun. In English, adjectives generally come before the nouns. They qualify. Adjectives, as I said, tells more about nouns or pronouns, so they come before the nouns or pronouns they describe or qualify. For example, brave hunter. A hunter is a noun and brave is an adjective. So a brave hunter, that brave tells more about the hunter. A beautiful girl. Beautiful is an adjective that tells more about the girl. So it comes before the girl. The girl is a noun and beautiful is an adjective. That is why the beautiful comes before the word girl. Adjectives are classified into demonstrative adjectives. Demonstrative adjectives are adjectives that point out a particular person or things. That is, they point out a particular person or things. For example, when I say this man, so this is a demonstrative adjective. It is pointing at man, that is, this man is something that is very close to you. As the example in this slide, we can see that man is my brother. That is a demonstrative adjective that is telling more about the man. That is, this is for something that is very close and that is for something that is far. This woman is kind and gentle. This also in this sentence is the demonstrative adjective. It is telling more about the woman. There is also an interrogative adjective. Interrogative adjective asks questions about nouns they describe. For example, whose biro is that? Which of my aunt is dead? Whose and which are the interrogative adjectives, because they are asking questions about the nouns they describe. In the first sentence, they are asking about the noun biro, and in the second question, it is asking about the noun my aunt. The next adjective is possessive adjective. Possessive adjective used to indicate ownership. For instance, my aunt is dead. My is the possessive adjective because it indicates that the aunt you are talking about is yours. That is, it shows a kind of possession. His car is in good condition. His car, his, is the possessive adjective there. It is telling the reader or the listener that the car belongs to him. That is, it shows or indicates a kind of ownership. The next one is descriptive adjective. Descriptive adjective give the quality of nouns they describe. That is, they give a kind of description to the noun in a given sentence. For instance, he bought a brown car. The brown there is describing the type of the car or the color of the car. They are very happy. Happy there, it is happy there is a descriptive adjective because it is qualifying the noun in the sentence, or rather the pronoun they in that particular sentence. The function of adjectives. There is attribution. Attributive adjectives come before noun. They qualify. Example, the fair lady. Fair there is the attributive adjective. That is why it comes before the lady. The big man. The big there is the distributive adjective. That is why it comes before the noun man. There is also a predictive adjective. Predictive adjectives occur after the finite verb of a sentence. For example, your daughter is very beautiful. You can see that in these sentence, the adjective comes at the end of the sentence, while in the previous example, in the attributive adjective, the adjective comes before the noun, while in predictive adjective it comes after the finite. The next one is comparison of adjective. Comparison of adjectives are used to indicate degrees of comparison. That is, they show comparison between two things or more than two things. There are 3 degrees of comparison. We have positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. When we take, for instance, the positive degree, tall, the comparative degree is taller. And comparative degree is used when you are comparing two people. For instance, Musa is taller than Ali. So there you are using the comparative degree. And for the superlative, tallest, it is used for a comparison of more than 2 people or things. For instance, Musa is the tallest in the class. That is, there are more than 1 person in the class. Maybe there are 5 up to 10. So when you say tallest, it is a superlative degree. For the good, the comparative degree is better and the superlative is best. Intelligent, the comparative form is more intelligent and the superlative is most intelligent. That is, more intelligent when you are comparing 2 people, well, and most when you are comparing more than 2 people. The continuation also in the opening class, we have nouns. Now we verbs, adjective, and adverbs. Now we come to the adverbs. Verbs are action words. A verb is either finite or non-finite. Finite verbs agree with the subject of the sentence in which they are used and show the tense. Finite verbs are grouped into lexical and auxiliary verbs. That is, a verb is an action word like jump, run, write, cook. All these are action and they are verbs. And these verbs are divided into 2, as I said. We have finite and non-finite. The finite verbs also, they are grouped into lexical and then the auxiliary verbs. The lexical verbs is the major verb in a sentence and is divided into transitive verb that is usually followed by an object to complete its meaning, and then an intransitive verb which doesn't need an object to complete its meaning in a sentence. And let me explain this. You know, these lexical verbs are the major verbs in a sentence. For example, when we say cook, write is a major verb in a sentence. And also in this, the example given in here, for example, John killed a big snake. Killed is the lexical verb, and it is called transitive verb because it has an object, that is a big snake. The object is the receiver of an action. When you say John killed what? A big snake. A big snake is the object of the sentence. So a transitive verb is a verb that has an object, that is any sentence that has a receiver of the action in that particular sentence is what is called transitive verb. While in the intransitive verb, we can see that it rained yesterday. In this sentence, you can see there is no any receiver of the action. Rained is the lexical verb without the receiver of the action. And also, my mom died last month. That is the lexical verb, but the sentence doesn't have an object. That is the receiver of an action. That is why it is called intransitive verb. And then we also have linking verbs. It's a verb that connects the subject of a sentence to its complement or predicate to indicate the state of being of that particular subject. That is, a linking verb is a verb that connects the subjects and its complements. For instance, here, lawyers are liars. It is just an example. Are is the linking verb because it links lawyers and the liars. My daughter is pretty. Is the linking verb because it links my daughter and pretty. When you say my daughter pretty without the is, so the sentence is not complete or it is not meaningful. So that is what is called a linking verb. That is any verb that links the subject and the complement. It is what is called linking verbs, like are, is. Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs that they help the lexical verbs to form tenses or to indicate doubt, possibility, necessity, or obligation. Auxiliary verbs are of two types. There is primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. The primary auxiliaries, these verbs are 3 in number, namely do, have, and be. And these 3 primary auxiliary verbs act as both lexical and auxiliary verbs. That is, they act as either lexical, that is the main verb, or auxiliary verbs, that is the helping verb in a sentence. As a lexical verb, for example, she is here. She is here. Is here serves as the main verb in the sentence. So that is why it is called a lexical verb in this particular sentence. But when you look at the auxiliaries, Ladidi is cooking her favorite dish. So here the auxiliary, the verb is here because it is helping the verb cooking. Cooking is the lexical verb, and the auxiliary verb here is helping cooking to have a kind of concord. As I said, that there is primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. The modal auxiliaries include can, could, will, would, should, and so on. Use e.g. you must go back to your house today. Must here is the modal auxiliary verb. You need to see me after the lecture. Need is the modal auxiliary verb in this particular sentence. The non-finite verbs are verbs that are not restricted in any way in tense and number. They are participle, gerund, and infinitive. An adverb, as another item in close class, is a word used to modify or qualify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. It usually answers one of these questions: when, where, how, and why. An adverb is classified into adverb of time, adverb of place, and adverb of manner. That is, an adverb tells more about a verb, or tells more about an adjective, or tells more about another adverb, and they are of different types. Adverb of time tells when the action takes place. That is, it tells the time when an action takes place, like sometimes, today, tomorrow, last week, soon, and so on. For instance, he will write his exam tomorrow. Tomorrow is an adverb of time. Why? Because it tells when the exams or the exam is taking place. Adverb of place tells where the action takes place. As adverb of time tells about the time, adverb of place tells the place where the action takes place. That is modified or telling more about the where the action takes place, like here, there, downward, forward, and so on. For instance, the cars are parked outside. Outside is the adverb of time in this sentence because it tells where the cars are parked. The adverb of manner tells how an action takes place. That is, how the action takes place. Adverb of time tells when, adverb of place tells where, and adverb of manner tells how the action takes place. For example, she danced well. Well in this sentence is the adverb of manner because it tells us how she danced. Pronouns are part of the items in the close class. As I explained in the previous slide, that pronouns, preposition, conjunctions, interjection, and articles do not invite new words. They are close. They don't give room for new words. Pronouns are words which we use in place of a noun. That is, we use pronouns in place of nouns in order to avoid repetition. That is, if you don't want to be repeating the name or repeating the noun, we use pronouns instead of nouns. For instance, Abdul went to visit his friend Sani, but Abdul did not find Sani at home. In the above sentence, we can use pronouns in place of the proper nouns Abdul and Sani. Instead of repeating the names, we can use pronouns in place of Abdul and Sani, that is the proper nouns used in the sentence. For instance, Abdul went to visit his friend Sani, but he did not find him at home. That is, he is used in a place of Abdul and him in place of Sani. Pronouns are classified into several different classes such as personal pronoun, demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, possessive pronouns, relative pronouns, reflexive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, and so on. Personal pronouns stand for persons. They can be either in a plural or singular form. When they are used in third person singular, personal pronouns show gender, whether masculine or feminine. Another feature of the personal pronoun is person. Person is a grammatical category of pronouns, and we have three persons, that is first person, second person, and third person. Pronouns speak to you about someone else who may not necessarily be present. That is why I said that the person you are talking about, that person might not be around. So when you are talking about that person, so he is the third person. The speaker is the first person, you the listener is the second person, and the one spoken about is the third person. Here are examples of the personal pronouns. Like the first person, we have I for singular and we for plural. My, singular, our, plural, and so on. The second person, here we have you, singular, and also you, plural, because I can say you, stand up for you, and also I can say you stand up when I'm talking to a group of people. So the singular and plural are all you. Your is also a singular and your a plural, and then so on. The third person is he, she, and it. His, hers, him, her, they, also a third person. That is the subject and in the object form. Demonstrative pronoun, these are pronouns that point out a particular person or things. That is, they are pronouns that point out at a particular person or things. For instance, that is an interesting lecture. That here it is pointing at a particular lecture. This is Bayero University, Kano. This is also a demonstrative pronoun. It is pointing at Bayero University, Kano. Interrogative pronouns, as part of the types of pronouns, are used to ask questions. That is, when we say interrogative pronouns, simply we are referring to the pronouns that ask questions, like what, who, whom, whose, which, and so on. For instance, what is your favorite color? What is asking a question, so it is an interrogative pronoun. Who gave you my book? Who is the interrogative pronoun in this sentence. Possessive pronoun pronouns are pronouns formed from possessive adjectives. They include his, ours, theirs to show possession. For example, this book is mine. Mine is a possessive pronoun. It shows that the book belongs to me. That is, this is my book, and this book is mine because it is used in an object form. The choice is yours. Yours is the possessive pronouns. It shows that the choice is yours. Relative pronouns are similar to interrogative pronouns, except that relative pronouns introduce subordinate clauses called relative clauses, and at the same time connect them with main clauses. For example, he is the lecturer that chased his student away. So if you look at these, you can see that it's like has a kind of similarity with the interrogative pronoun, but here it connects one clause with another one. They are the chairs which I told you about. You know, in interrogative pronoun, which is used at the beginning of a sentence, but in these a relative pronoun, you can see that it is used in the middle of a sentence. And then relative reflexive pronouns are pronouns that are combined with suffixes such as self and selved. In one of our module, that is in module 1, I think, we talk about what suffix is. Suffix is a syllable used at the end of a word. For example, here we can see that she is deceiving herself. You know, her is a pronoun, but self is attached to the pronoun her, and it becomes herself. You have said it yourself. Your is a pronoun and it is attached with the suffix self, and it gives a word self. Through yourself in a singular form, and yourselves, him is in a plural form. A preposition is a word used with a noun or pronoun to show their relationship with some other words in a sentence. A preposition together with a noun or a pronoun which is object form, what is called a prepositional phrase. That is, a preposition is used to show the kind of relationship between a word with another word in a sentence. But in a situation whereby a preposition goes with a noun or a pronoun, then it's what is called prepositional phrase. It is called a phrase because it is more than one word and it is not a complete sentence. For instance, Abdul gave the book to Maryam. To is a preposition, but in this sentence, to Maryam is a prepositional phrase. Maryam cooked some food for Abdul. For alone is a preposition, but when it is attached with Abdul, that is a noun, then it becomes a prepositional phrase, that is for Abdul. A conjunction is a word whose only function is to link words, phrases, clauses, and sentences. That is, the function of a conjunction is to link words, phrases, and clauses, and then sentences. There are three types of conjunctions. We have coordinating conjunction, subordinating conjunction, and correlative conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions link elements that are of equal status. That is, coordinating, they are connecting or coordinating different elements that are of equal status. For example, examples of coordinative conjunctions and, but, and o. For instance, in this sentence, and serves to add an item to another. Musa and Isa are dancing. Add is used to coordinate Musa and Isa. But serves to provide a contract. That is, in a situation where the speaker or writer wants to show a contract, but is used there. He invited her, but she refused. All serves to provide an alternative in a situation whereby a speaker or writer wants to provide an alternative. It is by the use of coordinating conjunction O. She either passes or fails. A subordinative conjunction. These are words that connect subordinate clauses to main clauses. They include if, since, because, and so on. For instance, I have been here since 4 o'clock. We are going to write a test before they come. Since is a subordinative conjunction. Before is also a subordinative conjunction in these examples. Correlative conjunctions. These are pairs of words used as conjunctions. That is, they are pairs. They are in pairs. For example, neither, no, either, or, not, but, both, and so on. If we go to this example given, both Amina and Aminu passed the exams. We can see that the two words are used there. That is correlative. They are moving, or they are used in pairs. She is not only a brilliant, but also, we can see only and also in the same sentence. You either leave this class or keep quiet. That is, we can see that either and or are used in the same sentence. Interjection is an exclamation. Interjection expresses a feeling of surprise, pain, fear, anger, joy, and so on. That is, interjection is an exclamation where a speaker or writer shows how he feels. For instance, I'm sorry. Nonsense. I can't believe it. All these are what. Before we move forward to discuss the concept of sentence, it is good we follow and explain the hierarchical order of elements in English. In terms of grammatical rank, a word is the least element, followed by a phrase, one step above, then a clause, followed by a sentence as the largest element. What this paragraph is saying is that the sentence is the least element, then followed by a phrase, because a phrase is a combination of related words. Then a phrase is the, apart from a phrase, then there is a sentence, that is a combination of group of words to give a complete meaning. So by forming a sentence, it divided into clauses. The clauses are split into phrases, and the phrases are broken into words. That is how the structure of a sentence is. That is, sentence can be broken into phrases, and the phrases can be broken into words. A phrase refers to a group of related words which does not convey a complete meaning because it has no subject and finite verb. That is, a phrase is a combination of related words but without a complete meaning. That is, it's just a part of a sentence. For example, behind the door. Behind the door is a combination of words but without any meaning. There is no complete meaning. A noisy class. When you say a noisy class, is a combination of words but without a complete meaning. There are different types of phrases. A phrase can be divided into noun phrase, adjectival phrase, adverbial phrase, verbal phrase, and prepositional phrase. As we can observe, this classification is closely tied to the function of different word classes or part of speech we have discussed. For instance, when you say a noun phrase, you can have a noun with other elements. Also in an adjectival phrase, you can have an adjective with other elements, but without a complete meaning. Clause, unlike a phrase which functions solely as a word, a clause is a group of words containing a subject, a verb, a modifier, and in certain instances an object. That is, in a phrase we can find that it can either be a subject with some element without a verb, that is in the noun phrase, while in the verb phrase you can have a verb with other elements but without the subject. But in a situation whereby you are dealing with clause, a clause comprises of a subject, a verb, a modifier, at times with an object. A clause is broadly classified into two, that is an independent clause and dependent clause. Independent clause is a clause that stands on its own without depending on another clause, while dependent clause is a clause that depend on the independent clause. That is, an independent clause is also called a main clause, while an dependent clause is sometimes called subordinate clause. The major difference between the two is that independent clause stands on its own, that is, it gives a complete meaning, while dependent clause does not give a meaning unless it is attached to the independent clause. As the example here, some students are waiting outside. Abdul caught the ball. All these sentences have complete meaning. But for the dependent clause, we can see that although we came late, so when you say although we came late, the listener will be expecting something. Then the program has not commenced. The program has not commenced is the main or independent clause, while although we came late is the dependent. That is, the dependent clause always depend on the independent clause to give a complete meaning. A sentence is a group of words which gives a complete meaning, and it comprises of a subject and finite verb. To give a complete meaning, a sentence should start with a capital letter and ends with one of the terminal punctuation marks. When we say terminal punctuation marks are the marks or the punctuation marks that come at the end of a sentence. That is to show that you come to the end of a particular sentence, so you either use a full stop, an exclamation mark, or a question mark. These are the terminal punctuation marks we have. And the types of sentences we have here, they are classified according to their structure. That is the way they are structured. We have simple sentence. A simple sentence is mostly an independent clause. The one we explained in the previous slide was a subject and a finite verb containing a single idea. That is what is called a simple sentence. For example, Umar is sleeping. This is a simple sentence. And a compound sentence is the type of sentence that has two or more main or independent clauses connected by a coordinating conjunction. That is, in a situation whereby you have two or more main or independent sentences coming together by the use of coordinating conjunction, it is called compound sentence. For example, Aliyu had the explosion and he called the police. So we can see that we have two different sentences linked by the coordinating conjunction add. Mariam washed the dishes and she dried them. Mariam washed the dishes it is an independent clause. She dried them, it is also an independent clause, but they are combined in one sentence, and that is why they are called compound sentence. Complex sentence contains one independent clause with one or more dependent clauses. That is a situation whereby you have one independent clause with an independent with a dependent one or two dependent clause. It is what is called a complex sentence. In other perspectives, sentences are classified into 6 types according to the function they perform as follow. We have declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, wish, command, and request. Declarative statements is a statement which affirms or denies an idea. For example, President Buhari has dissolved his cabinet yesterday. So this is a declarative statement. Mustafa has not registered his courses. It is also a declarative statement because it is used for affirmation or denial. An interrogative sentence, this is type of sentence that asks questions and ends with a question mark. That is, any sentence that asks question and ends with a question mark is what is called interrogative sentence. For example, when did Nigeria get her independence? You know, this is when, and it is a question and it ends with a question mark. Exclamatory sentence is a type of sentence that shows a sudden feeling or emotion. As such, it ends with the exclamation mark. For instance, oh yes, what a nice idea. All these exclamation or exclamatory sentence. And also here we can also see more examples in this slide. And also in these we can see more example of what I already explained in the previous slide. Like wish, which is a desire, is sometimes called optative sentence. It expresses a wish or hope of something happening soon. For instance, I wish you best of luck in your forthcoming examination. So this is a wish for you. And a command is a type of sentence used to give an order or a command. The subject in this sentence is mostly implied, not obvious. That is, the sentence is mostly with an exclamation mark. For example, move out of this place. So we can see that you there, it is in what do you call it, close bracket. It is telling that you move out of this class, but in most cases it is applied, that is the subject is not what do you call it, apparent. Close the door, or you close the door. Request is a type of sentence lies in the between a command and a wish. That is, it is in between command and a wish. It is neither a command nor a wish. For example, could you please shut the door? May I go out to see a friend? So this is not a wish, and also it is not a command. So this is a request because you are requesting for something. This brings us to the end of our discussion of items in Module 2, Lecture 1, where we explain the word classes and sentence types. And if you can recall, we have seen how parts of speech are broadly divided into open and closed classes. We also discussed how the types of sentences. We have the simple, complex sentence, and then the declarative, interrogative, request, command, and so on. Thank you for listening.